So there's a new report out that says Apple might be coming out with a next-gen Pro Display XDR. Of course, the current model is a beauty. It looks very similar from the front, at least, to Apple's Studio display, which is a bit more affordable. What made it special? Well, it was the first 32-inch Retina 6K display ever. What it had going for it was that it was really bright, the colors were very rich and very accurate, and it used advanced LED technology for light shaping and true-to-life imagery. Not to mention, if you ever went to the Apple Store and checked it out, you could look at it from the side and it wouldn't be all washed out. So it had really good viewing angles as well. And yes, it also had that iconic grille pattern in the back, and it could all be yours for a mere $5,000 to $6,000. Pocket change, right? Very briefly, if you haven't signed up for the Daily Tech newsletter, by the way, that's something you need to do immediately. Free, comes out on Fridays, doesn't waste your time. By the way, it comes with some free wallpaper every week, so why would you want to miss that? So what is it about this rumored upcoming next version, V2, that would set it apart and make it worthy of the title of Apple's flagship display? Well, the big difference here is that it's rumored to possibly feature quantum dot display tech. What is that? Well, I'm glad you asked. Basically, it would use semiconductor crystals, aka quantum dots, to enhance the color and image quality. While it's hard to improve on an already awesome display, basically you're gonna get even better color accuracy. So quantum dots have more pure, more saturated colors, but now you get even higher peak brightness. So it's gonna be like staring at the sun, not quite, but there's gonna come a point where it's too bright, right? Along with also being a bit more energy efficient as well. Now, I've kind of checked in with all the buzz, what people are saying about this, and I think mostly people are pretty excited about this with a few caveats. Number one, there's worry about the price, right? The thing started at a pretty expensive price already. You could easily see Apple being like, well, hey, here's the new features and it costs exactly the same as before, so we're not raising the price on you. That's possible. But also, I think people are more worried about what the potential feature limitations might end up being. Really comes down to three potential things, I would say. Number one, the refresh rate's unclear if it would match competitors' high refresh rates. Number two, the compatibility. Is it going to be compatible with older Apple devices and software? Number three, the burn-in. Less than OLED, of course, but there might be concerns about the longevity and the screen brightness. Personally, I think that if you're in the market for this in the first place, price is really going to be less of an issue. You're really only counting on this thing to be the highest possible performer that it can be in the category. So I think probably some of that is unfounded. If Apple's gonna put this out and it's gonna be the flagship thing, I don't really think they're gonna skimp when it comes to the actual quality. If anything, I think people should be worried that it's gonna be over-rigged for what most people even need. If you're watching this clip, it's very likely that you own an Apple device, and if you do, and you'd like to learn how to be more productive, I've got a course for you. It's called Learning to Be Productive, and it's gonna help you get more done in less time with less burnout in the Apple ecosystem. I'll link it up down below. And when we say most people, when we're talking about this particular monitor, what we're actually talking about is like very high-end professionals, and to a smaller extent, another group of people. It's just like it's kind of a Ferrari that you can put on your desk and be like, look, I got the Ferrari on my desk, right? One thing that's already kind of weird is, if you have multiple screens at your desk and one is really bright and one isn't, or a couple aren't, that can really throw things off, I've found. I've had a couple displays that I really liked, especially a couple ultra wides that were like curved, and the form factor was awesome, but they just weren't as bright as my iPad or my Mac with their really high quality screens. And so it can really throw off your desk setup to have one super high quality, far and away nicer screen that doesn't match your other screens. And so if you're really looking for just the utilitarian aspect of this and that high power, you're not gonna care. And even though this would be a really nice high quality screen, it's not OLED, so there's already gonna be a difference versus your iPad Pro, for instance, if you have that as part of your toolkit. So it's just weird because it's not uniform. Even though it's awesome, there's always opportunity to improve things, even at the very highest high end of Apple's product lineup. So for that very kind of reason, it would be nice if Apple standardized stuff across the different levels of their products, which is possibly what they're doing here, at least when it comes to the color range. Something else that's kind of funny too is the Studio display, which is more consumer oriented and it's meant to be a device that fits multiple situations. It's not just for design or editing videos, etc., or photography. That has a built-in camera, and Apple's high-end, top-of-the-line $5,000 to $6,000 display right now doesn't. You have to get this Logitech add-on that's specifically made for it. It's kind of weird. Or you could use your iPhone, which is cool in a way, but also kind of weird also. So I don't know. Will Apple, pull that in and make that part of this package as well? I have no idea, but let me know your thoughts because I'm kind of curious, especially because I've been dabbling in this realm of design, photography, videography for so long, it might be time for an upgrade. And for a while there, this was looking kind of long in the tooth, and I would never want to buy something that was sitting on the market for this long. So this would be a good time to do an upgrade. Let me know your thoughts.